Welcome. Roses like investing in you. So, oh, sorry, the next one's on them. Try to put on the other one. That's stuck. Okay. So guys, oh my God. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Roses like investing in you. Oh, so sorry. Okay. Okay, hopefully it's gonna stay. All right. Okay. Can you see me? Okay. I know there's very few of you here today. That's okay. But, oh my God. Okay. Let's see. So here I am. Here I am. Remember that song? Rock you like a hurricane. Here I am. Rock you like a hurricane. Okay. So, wow. Oh my God. Oh, sorry, it's so bright in my eyes. Okay, let's see. Oh, they're better. Okay. Okay. So, wow. Okay. So guys, so today's the Dr. King's Day. It's a holiday. I almost didn't, but I thought, it'd be interesting to have a conversations about it. And then I saw the news of the soap opera of George Santos never ends. And it's so good, the latest. Couldn't pass it up. Couldn't pass it up. How was it? My opinion was good. It was okay. I mean, it's so weird. I don't know, TMI, like, so I've been really increasing my levels of iron as I was saying, right? So I started taking also iron supplements, but then I had my period late last night. So sorry, TMI, like, because it started to affect me more and more, my period, I guess. But I feel like it's going in the right direction. But I haven't been doing much, to be honest. And I went for a walk today. So it's like totally disconnected, right? Do I sound like disjointed? No, but it's interesting, guys. It was just weird January, but also feel good at the same time. Trying to exercise, trying to get everything done. But it was quiet. It was quiet because I was not feeling, the weekend. How was your weekend? So that's just me. That's trying to expand the situation. Trying to improve and expand. Not improve, just get better, healthier. And I'm really kind of into the nutrition situation lately. So that's it. That's all I have to do. But guys, what's so interesting? So I saw somebody post something, just to tell you how it's interesting in life, day-to-day life. It was like somebody who read it, like, who used to live in New York and moved, and now it's like missing. It's somebody who's married with kids and moved away from New York, and is like really sad that he was not here anymore, wants to come back. And that's when I was like, oh, I have to go, because I've been exercising, trying to exercise an hour a day, at least 40 minutes to an hour a day, and I exercise at home. But I have the city to walk. It's so stupid. And I was like, girl, you're gonna get yourself out of your house, and you're gonna, because I feel so much better. Honestly, it's not that I'm sad or anything, but it's so nice. It really is very, just very. I don't know, explain it. It's like taking a happiness pill to walk and to see people. To get out of your house, your head, and stuff like that. So I'm trying to do this every day now. Starting with today, I would work out more because it's a little cold. So, but I decided that I'm going to do it every day. I think it's going to really do good things for me. Living in New York, you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys know how I like the city and everything. It's so easy to forget, sometimes in your life, it's so easy to forget the things you have, to not appreciate the beauty around you. So that's what I try to do. So let me just get all the cards. Okay. So really, guys, it's really, It's really I know I have a huge list of things I want to write about and talk to you about, but one of the things that I recommend for you guys, if you don't happen to live in an area that is like easy to walk, there are so many really great exercises on YouTube, like walking. There's one that I read, turbo walking. I love it. It really gets my heart rate up. So, but still, this city, guys, and there's something about you feel alive. You feel it really is very cleansing for the mind. Honestly, very good. So I recommend. So anyway, so that's that. But anyway, just going back to the news today of guys, can you believe it? And remember, I had seen the thing about George Santos, like his money was going to be the downfall, the undoing. So it turns out that, of course, they figure out that it was a Washington Post thing. They said that his money comes from this guy, this company, or some guy who is the cousin of a very big Russian oligarch. Guys, by the way, I have not dyed my hair, and so it's hello, it's amazing. And that tells us like how, guys, the Russians are all, you know what I mean? Like, if you think about it, it's still around. The guy, he came out of nowhere. So remember how I had the vision about him, about George Santos? Yeah, I mean, we talk about it pretty often these days, that I said that he was a legit scammer. And in fact, he was working for a company that was like, the SEC called them, they sued him for scams or something. Fraud, I guess they call it technically. And so indeed, he got, can you believe it, guys? Unbelievable the amount, like the scammy situation, isn't it? It's like, wow, I can't, like the fact that this guy, it's this company, we'll talk about it, okay? I wonder, what, I'm just gonna okay, let me just show you while people arrive. I'm gonna wait a little bit until, and then I'll start with I really am looking forward to doing the connected with the other side. Okay, but let's see here. Oh, of course I have here. One sec. Where is it? Oh, okay, sorry. All right, just go. 1 second. Gonna stop video. I just wanna. Okay, 1 second. I'm just gonna get something. I forgot something momentarily. Okay, so I'm back. Okay, so let me share the screen to show you. Unbelievable. Okay, so new details link George Santos to cousin of sanctioned Russian oligarch. The New York congressman was claimed Andrew Intrater's company was his client, while another Intrater company allegedly made a deposit with the firm where Santos worked. So guys, it's like, it's unbelievable. Okay. So the company that he's associated with has been thoroughly investigated by Mueller because he's the cousin. Can you imagine? Imagine your cousin is a Russian oligarch and you have ties to Russian, like whatever, businesses or something. Like what are the odds, right? Okay, here it is. Tens of thousands. Okay. Now, the interesting thing, guys, if you haven't read this, so it's it's really like, it's okay. So the story is that taken together, so business relationship with, okay. So here it is. So the interesting thing is that taken together, the evidence of Santos may have had a business relationship with Intrater as Santos was first entering politics in 2020. It also shows, according to SEC, that Intrater put hundreds of thousands of dollars into Santos' one-time employer, Harbor City, which was accused by regulators of running a Ponzi scheme. So we have a situation where, like, first he was working for this company that was essentially fraud, 100% fraud. And then somehow this company before he went into politics, was already somehow financing this thing. And then after he stopped working for it, he was the one. Remember how we were wondering, like, where does the money come from? Okay. Ties between Santos and Schrader reflect the way Santos found personal and political support in his path to public office. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so while in trade as a U.S. citizen, his company, the investment of Columbus Nova, has historically had extensive ties to business interests of his Russian cousin. As recently as 2018, when Vexelberg was sanctioned by the Treasury Department, his conglomerate was Columbus Nova's largest client, the company confirmed to the Post that year. So it was like my channel had already started, right? Like when this wasn't happening. In traders' interaction, Michael Cohen, who was a tenant, was probed. Okay, here it is. Okay, now fast forward 2020. In 2020, when Santos was tasked by Harbor City with locating investors in New York, he claimed in a Harbor City meeting held over Zoom that in traders' investment firm Columbus Nova was a client of his, according to footage obtained by the Washington Post. He made the comment during a discussion of the difficulties of residential real estate investing. Okay, in particular, investors will put money into 1400 432 Park Avenue. Oh my God, look at this statement. You might know who they are, Santos added. They've made the news on several occasions. They were heavily involved with the Russia probe, unjustified. Okay, so like he even admits, he brings it up on the actual meeting, okay? Guys, you know something else that immediately this brings up to me is that here he's talking to these people. We don't know who he's talking to, I guess clients of the firm he was working for, but point being that we don't know who is the recipient of this, right? But there he is talking about this. He admits that he's involved with this company that has been investigated, like is involved in the Russian investigation. And then he talks about real estate. And I'm thinking, guys, why do I think, I mean, this is a lot of people say that, right? That real estate has been basically a leg of money laundering. Like, why would this guy, like, you know what I mean? Think about why is it that all these people are involved in real estate? Couldn't they do something else? It seemed like real estate is the one industry that attracts every single one of them. Why is that? Okay, so, okay. Now, sorry, do I stop share because I can't look at your comments? Let me just finish this because I know, as you know, I'll get very distracted. But let me finish the whole article and then I'll read your comments. Okay, so the congressman has falsified substantial, okay. All right, so, but Harbor's, okay, so here we are in the situation. He's talking about this company that he's one of his clients. So okay, now it is. Harbor City was able to lend $625,000 deposit from a company registered in Mississippi that identifies a trader as its loan officer, according to an exhibit, including the SEC's complaint against Harbor City. So this guy is shady, has historically been openly connected to this guy, his cousin, Russian oligarch Viktor Vexelberg. So the company that Santos is working for is now doing deals with somebody that he knows, one of his friends or people he knows, is a trader guy, comes back here. So then there's more guys, okay? So it's already shady. There's only one person registered to it, okay? So, all right. So then, but what's interesting is afterwards, they come back and invest in his campaign. So after Santos formed now this is so the assets were frozen, right? He was working for this company. The SEC is investigating the company. The SEC freezes the assets. So what does Santos do? Santos in 2021 formed the Devolder organization that paid him $3.5 million over the next 2 years, according to Florida business records and financial disclosure forms. Santos loaned his campaign more than $700,000, but did not report any income from Harbor City, despite having been paid by the company as recently as 2021. So, okay. So then there's a connection here to Trump and how Trump had received payments from this company before Santos. Okay, so now this is the part that talks about, okay, about Trump and Columbus. No, okay. So you see, okay, guys, so this is the story. It's like, it's almost like they had, it's almost like they created they found George Santos, and how George Santos is a real, like, okay, how George Santos is, is the new, it's kind of like they want to have a new Trump type person. Can you believe it? And it's like, it's so, and the interesting thing to me is that they somehow find these people. I don't know how they find these people, those scammers. And it's almost like guys, it's almost like you could see how it happened with Trump. Like they find these people, they start to see them and invest in them. So no matter what they do, they end up in politics, and then they have all the influence. They own them completely, right? Because guys, who has, okay, let's just say let's say average person, or let's say even a person that has, makes a decent living, let's say, right? A good living. I don't want to say super wealthy. For you to have $700,000 laying around, like you just happen to have $700,000 like randomly, you need to be pretty wealthy. Like think about it. Who has a $700,000 laying around for no reason? Like that, like other than you have a house, that you have just like free income like that. Oh, 700,000. Like, let me put, because if you have $700,000, you're right. Like, okay, think about it. Like after the expenses, like say house, whatever it is, like 700,000 is a significant amount of money. I'm not talking assets, I'm talking cash. You have cash, 700,000. So this guy, clearly does not, he wasn't even paying rent. Remember how George Santos, like a couple years ago, he wasn't even paying rent. He didn't have enough money to pay rent, or just didn't want to pay rent, whatever it is, whichever. And then suddenly $700,000 that he paid himself. And then he's already like talking about buildings, like, his job was like promoting real estate, kind of like Trump, right? Like, it's so it's like, it's very interesting. Like, how does that happen? You know what I mean? Like, how does that even happen? So individual is saying here, she makes a great point. They're better at vetting than we are. Like, exactly. Like they seem to find, and you know what it is, guys? They find the same person. What you think? I'm not saying like everybody's different or whatever, but if you look at George Santos and Trump, they're similar, right? Although I think that Trump lies a little bit less. Like at least Trump, we know the dad is like legit. The dad built the business, the name, right? But this guy, he's like, maybe he lies more than Trump because, right? I don't know. Because everything about this guy is completely fabricated. At least Trump, we know the family is legit, right? His dad is his dad. So, but it's the same type of like scammer, con artist scammer. And it's, it's telling me, guys, they're like, now that maybe they made it okay to have con artists become politicians, then, you know what I'm saying? So now, oh, oh. So it's like, oh my God. It's like, okay, so let me ask a question. How did George Santos find the Russian oligarch? It's a true question. Because how, seriously, like it's a great question. Like, how do they find each other? Because clearly they're a great match, right? Corrupt. But it's also like this, like, guys, I told you, when I saw, you have to look it up, like the interview of George Santos and Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard was, yeah, she did a really good interview with him. Surprisingly, I was surprised, but very good interview. But he is one of those people who lies with a straight face, like scary, like what is it called? They call it pathological liar. So what is the story here? Like, how do they find each other? Okay, let me do the protection. Like, that's a protection, beautiful light coming into my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs a bit creator circle. So step into for protect my objects. Ask information coming from my source to get the okay. All right. So how do they find each other? Is it okay? Was it So guys, honestly, it's a little difficult. I'm not necessarily picking up, but it's not super clear, but it tells me several things. One is like, it's similar to cryptocurrencies. There's a kind of like a, people who it's like he worked in a scam type business, and those people kind of know each other, and they kind of walk. Does it make sense? It's like, it's Florida. It's like there's something, it's like the right wing scammer grift kind of thing, okay? You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Oh, so that's so, and then, but the question I have is like, oh, and then it's saying, guys, that this is, so it shows that also George Santos, he knew he was a good scammer. And I told you guys, remember, even before this came out, that I had seen that he was like one of those people who scam people on the phone. Like he calls you and is like, "Oh, this is the thing. You put money here," and then so he did this. So he's like, "I am like Trump." He thought himself that he could be the new Trump. He's talented like that. He thought. So then I do think that he wanted to be like Trump. So he thought he had the talents. Now, how does he then decide? Because he was like working, I guess, in Florida. So how does he go about deciding to like, doesn't make sense. It's like, this is like, how do they meet is my question. You understand? Because like, let me go back here just to the article, because the article says, okay, so he was working for this company, right? He was working for this company, and okay, let's see if the cards, guys. Again, it was, I have more things to do today, but how did they meet? Because I get the sense that they knew that he was, and I see this guy, the intrader person, always looking out for candidates and people like that. So they're always on the lookout to see who they can kind of corrupt in the GOP. So how do they, this is a, but still, how do they meet? How do they meet here? Okay, gift, Sam, the mob, quid pro quo. So why, okay, so how did this come about, his politics? Money, setting. Okay, so there, I mean, guys, you know what it suggests that they're looking for people. This is a young person. The enemy, like, is a person who will be on the, in the public or in the group, but is behind the scenes an enemy, and the enemy exposing the enemy. So it shows, guys. I feel like it's like the same circles. It's saying somehow he knew that it would be okay. But you know what I'm getting also, that there is something about the Jewish thing. Okay. I have to say, okay, the Jewish thing, he said, I'm Jewish, remember? And there's something about the location, like ran for the house in that particular location. So there's something about, I think, them, that it's like I don't know, guys. There's something about, remember, it reminds me of Andrew Young. Remember Andrew Young? Like, he had similar weird donors. He would be pumping cryptocurrencies, and he would be saying things like, I don't know, guys. There was something like he was supported by the like Orthodox Jewish community. Like, there was something here where I feel like some of those Russian oligarchs are related to like these there's some like, because I looked this guy in Trader up, and then he was like, he was participating in some sort of, in a Jewish what is it called, charity, but I think some of them are money, I talked about it, like money laundering operations, okay, connected to Russian oligarchs. So, and guys, it also tells me that people like them, they always have these weird workshops where they kind of like put out feelers for people who want to run for office, honestly. So it's like, if you want to do something like that, there's going to be people. Oh, you know what it says to me? It says something like, it's Rosie, how you're interested in technology. So there's people, if you're building something, there's people that eventually you want to look at. You kind of mentally tell me you have look at list, right? Same thing for the people who are running for office or thinking of running for office. They also know of like who they need to talk to if they want. So it doesn't make sense. So it's kind of like it's a similar group of people, the group of people who are kind of like, it's saying there's a connection between these scam type businesses. It's saying that the lawyers who set up these businesses that are fake, the money laundering, also look for people who, it's interesting. It's just a world that we don't necessarily know about. So they knew, and I see that they assessed him and like, oh, he has this, the skills. He's like a skill, he's a con man. He's a talent, guys. He shows me also the guy who, remember, he used to be Governor Rick Scott. Like he was also a con man, and like, it's like, and it's saying that he's young, so it's easier, you know what I mean? Like so, wow, okay. So that's really interesting, guys. Okay, so what's gonna happen, guys? This is like, come on. So it's saying so there's laws that you're not supposed to accept foreign donations to run, right? And it's like, okay, I'm sorry, guys. I want to be kind. I want to be understanding, but how the hell are these? I'm sorry. I know, we need to like hire 100,000 of people like to work in the FBI, the Treasury, but how come okay, so this was identified, right? They're like, so this guy's connected to Russia. How the hell is it like, is this still going on? I'm sorry, I don't get it. I understand that, let me actually, it doesn't make sense. Like, we know this is not new. These people are the same people, guys. You see, if you look at the article in the Washington Post, it talks about how, how this guy, he was this in-trader person. He was so in touch with, he was so close to Cohen. He was talking to him, so like 1,000 text messages from them. Like he went to the like, these are not new characters. These are identified. Like, how the hell are these things still going on? I don't get it. Like, I really don't get it. Okay, really. I mean, it shows me also as I ask this question. You remember the guy, the lawyer that he was very close to the Kochs, and he worked in the White House briefly. It's like Don McGahn. Don McGahn worked at the FEC, and he weakened a lot of, how Republicans guys have been weakening a lot of institutions. So this is easier to do. Okay, like, I don't get, like, really, I'm like, let me just ask, why is it still going on? The same people that were involved in they were right there in the Mueller investigation, and they still are at it again with a new person. Like, what the hell? Okay, why? And it's saying that it shows me Trump and then Barr, like when the Mueller investigation was going on. Oh, let's just keep moving. No, keep moving. So they were looked at, but they were never really, guys. It shows me also. I watch a lot of crime shows. It's kind of like in the crime shows when they have a suspect and they don't get the DNA. They forget. Oh yeah, well, just keep going. Imagine if doing those crime shows, like the moment you have to get the DNA, no, don't worry about it. Like, you kind of keep going. So it was kind of like rushed. Mueller was rushed, and like, so they don't, they keep going. Guys, it's like, come on, like, really, it shows how quickly. I don't know, guys. It just honestly makes me sick. Honestly, it makes me sick to think that those people are still out there. And there's guys, think about it. There's enough shady people in the world, like George Santos, that are willing and able to do whatever it is that they want, right? So then there's enough people out there who want to be politicians, and they could just, imagine how, guys, how easy it is. If you like, I'm not saying I would never be able to do that, but imagine like, what is it? It would be like, I'm gonna go to the government and I'm gonna check out what they're doing with your taxpayer money, because it's over with the woke people. Like, it's like if you just start repeating the same bullshit, then you get a lot of money. You start, oh, look at the woke people. The woke people are terrible. Like, I can't believe that they're using that taxpayer money to like overcharge me for that. However, the bullshit, they always say the same bullshit every day, right? It's always the same. So if you start repeating and you're somewhat convincing, you don't even have to be. What you think about it? Look at Marjorie. Look at Lauren Boebert. You don't have to be particularly smart. You don't have to be particularly convincing. You just have to be like, but I can't believe that I'm going to go run for office because I think it's wrong what's happening in this country. I think you have to go after them and do this and do that, like whatever. And then, you don't have to do anything other than that. You just scream and you say things. And then the advisors come behind the scenes and tell you what to vote for. Right? That's really how it is. And like, really think about it. It's like there's enough people out there. If you're a bad person, immoral, whatever, all you have to do is is repeat whatever they're saying. Oh, look at the Democrats. The Democrats are destroying America, whatever. Like, and there's random strangers come to you. Oh, here's like $700,000 to run for office. Think about it. It's like, it's really pretty shocking when you think about it. It's pretty shocking. Like, guys, any of you, honestly, it was just so can't. Guys, I'm unable to lie. Not that I would ever want to do that either, but if there's people like out there like saying, will they ever face consequences? That's right. I mean, okay, let me ask about this intrader person. Like, obviously he's shady. And okay, and I happen to know because this Vexelberg person was involved in the Ukraine gas business. Come on. What's gonna happen to this intrader guy? Because really, guys, and remember, I used to say, we talked about it all the time, like, it's not just Trump. Like, if it was just Trump, it would be easy, but that's why it is exactly the example why it's Trump is not enough. Like, because the system is already in place. They have a system going, clearly, right? They have a system going. So what is gonna happen to the intrader guy? Just gonna be like kind of like doing whatever? Okay, so what's up with intrader? What's up with this guy intrader? Guys, I see immediately an image of him carrying, what is it? Briefcases, like a businessman with lots of briefcases, carrying many briefcases. It's like, it shows a airport security footage of him carrying lots of not suitcases, briefcases. And then he comes through, kind of showing that he comes through the airport. And then he's like, and it opens lots of dollars, but it's saying that the money is, he's carrying this money from abroad. And then he's in US soil, he opens the suitcase and a briefcase. And the money is legit. So he is a money launderer, essentially. His business is to launder money from what I guess his cousin or whoever, right? Some kind of like illegal, shady money. He brings the money into the US and he makes it legit. That's his thing. It's saying, yes. So he's basically a sophisticated money launderer. That's what it looks like. Okay. So how come, knowing what we know, the guy was investigated, like he continues to do this shit? What the hell? Why is he still in business, and what's going to happen to him? And how is this going to happen? Okay, so what I saw, guys, just to tell you, I just saw it, I didn't tell you. So it shows that clearly he's like a money launderer. So you have to, like, the image that I had before of him coming through the airport. it's not, obviously it's not that he's doing it directly, like he's actually carrying cash in the airport, is that he's somehow transferring the money, for taking this foreign money and bringing it to the US system and then making it legit. So there, he's stopped at the airport, so he's not allowed, the money that comes to him is stopped, or is, he's not allowed. So he's saying that then they're investigating the people that set up these, the lawyers, like who was involved in setting up these businesses, because even this business with George Santos, like he had a random like business that he's the only person, so in trader is the only one associated with this. So you have to charge all of them with conspiracy, right? Like a kind of a RICO. Like here, it's a group of people that are coming together to do shady things. And you prevent them from ever holding. There's something like you can't ever be a business owner. There's something, I forgot the name. So, okay, so you have to investigate them all. Okay. Okay, here is interesting now. This is true. This is a card of the organization. Okay, snake organization fake for a long time, or for, okay. Okay, so it's saying that they happen to know that there's a guy that's also is interesting. The donating money to politics is a way to launder money, but it's also a way to like allow themselves in. Doesn't make sense, because the more they give money, think about it. If it's a long-term plan, you give money, everybody likes, oh, here's the guy who finances us all, blah, blah, blah. So then doesn't make sense. You start to get like, you start to be welcomed. Oh, he's so welcome. Oh, he's one of us, blah, blah, blah. So then they're normalized. And then the money laundry goes deeper and they have more and more power. Okay. And it's saying that, okay, and stable. As we're talking about a stable, okay, the deal ideas. Okay, so now what is this? Okay, so okay, the fake friend. Okay, so so I get the sense that this is unstable. It's like they attach themselves to these people that are like kind of like Santo, like on the borderline. They're shady. They have possible compromise on them. So it's a certain type of person that they look for. But again, so what's going to happen to them? So that's it. They have to go to the prison, have to go be charged with money laundering, and that's it. So, my God, guys. So it's saying that this is like, guys, Republicans, what the hell is this? Right? So we are foreign, right? That's it. Now, this is interesting. This is a drunk card. So this is just interesting. It also suggests that it's like this information could be a form of drink, you know what I mean? Drinking, or like, okay, they are feeding people bullshit. Okay. So again, their job is to feed people bullshit. So this is it. It's saying that, guys, it takes time. We don't even have it. It's been what, 2 years since we have so much to change. So much needs to change. Okay. Okay. So guys, I'm gonna just 1 second go get something, a little drink here, and I'm right here. But okay. So can you believe it? It's amazing. It's amazing, like how effed up this is. Okay. Sorry, I'm back. Oh, okay. So this is okay. So guys, there's no real solution right now. It's like it's going to take time. I have to continue to push, because we have to change the whole, like, think about it. We have to change the entire system. So, my God. Okay. So So, guys, let me pause. I think it's time to pause now. Then go. I'm really looking. I was really, on top of. I was really looking forward to the next thing I'm going to do now, which is to look for, see if we can connect with the other side and see, because I really want to know how far are we from this? Like, is it even realistic? I'm gonna just ask like this. I mean, I think it is, but I want to talk. Let's see, Dr. King, what's going on? Okay, with that, and I think, guys, I think in a way, this is, it's interesting, okay, to like, we have to change the entire system because they have identified our weakness, and they are like colonizing it, right? So I have a question for them. Like, do they see, okay, guys, I don't want to, I'm not negative, as you know, but are we ever going to come to a point where we are free from those Russian oligarch types? Okay. So how far are we from getting to the, are we ever going to live like that? Like, because, and it doesn't have to be just Russian, guys. It could be, UAE, it could be different countries or different, or the, what's his name? Elon Musk's of the world, right? That they want to take over, they want to have power, and they just give money or hope, right? Or accept money. It's just, the whole thing is very corrupt. So how close are we, or far, from kind of dealing with this head on? This is a huge, because this is the root of Trump. If you think about it, without the money from these people, Trump would not exist, right? To never have become president. So how could, okay, yes, okay, and there's thing, they are more expert at working on systems than we are, exactly. And we have, a whole party that is like connected to this bullshit. Okay, so the question is, so how close are we to getting, real reform? How close? And it's going to be tough, as we see, because they're very, very smart about this and thorough. So okay. Also, let's talk to. Guys, I want to talk to Dr. King today, if at all possible, or spirits connected to. I just in what the things we're thinking about. Also on FDR, because I feel like, look at Republicans. All they want to do, they hate FDR. And ever since then, they've been trying to take down all the things that FDR put in place. Okay. And the other thing, and we'll see how it goes. It was really, guys, it was nice on Friday, right? With the Elvis thing. It was interesting. Very interesting, I thought. Another person, maybe if we could talk to, is Beau Biden. I'm interested in Beau Biden, guys, because for some reason, and I was looking at Biden and the image of him giving the sermon at the church. And it's like, I wonder what Beau Biden thinks, because they're trying to take down his brother now. And then, guys, when we think about everything that Biden has been through in his life, wow, it's so interesting. And what does he see? What does he see? Because Beau Biden, he wanted to get into politics, right? He had a long life ahead of himself, and also as a veteran. He was, guys, that I was reading about him just earlier, and he had cancer. And Biden himself always thought that it was because of his work in Iraq, the so-called burning pits, and that may have caused cancer. So it's just a lot of things. It's very interesting. So okay, so let's see. Okay, I'm gonna start. There's no chapter for today. And then we'll see what if we have time left to talk about Ron Johnson. And he's freaking, guys, can you imagine? By the way, Ron Johnson, I did not even watch it. I was like, I love this news. Like, the Ron Johnson was getting mad at Chuck Todd, of all people. Chuck Todd, the super pro Republican guy. He was getting mad at him. He was having a meltdown. I want to see that. That's interesting, right? Don't you think? It's very interesting. But still, so let me see if I can connect here. Okay, so I was listening to this show today. There's a radio show in New York, on that at WNYC. It's a Brian. I always forget his last name, but he was playing a speech of Dr. King, saying that the hard part is going to actually be making changes that allow people to have decent lives, and then change, right? So, and this is where we are. Like, it's saying this is one step, and this is like, so how close are we, or how far? So let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna do the protection again, so I can concentrate and refocus here. Okay, so I'm gonna, okay, so I'm gonna do again the protection, just to refocus. Okay, like transfer protection, be very like, I'm gonna tip my head as a breathe in. My feelings over that rage is over his like that's information coming from the higher sources. Okay, Dr. King, if you're available, I know a lot of people are reaching out to you. So guys, I'm gonna okay. So I asked, Dr. King, I know a lot of like was I saying to you out loud? A lot of people are reaching out to you. So I saw the first images that he is, and it's interesting, guys. I just have to tell you this, like, well, when I reach out to people on the other side and they don't have much, like, I see that the eyes are like it's kind of he's somewhat human. When people start losing their shape, is because their soul is so advanced. Is that they're kind of like it's just they're like a spirit, really, pretty much. And so then I see that he's like, the mountain, right? We saw the mountaintop. I remember the whole, it's saying that he's looking at kids and he's like kind of watching over children. And he's saying these are my kids. So I like to know more. So that's okay. So tell me about them more. So what else? So how are you? He's saying, oh, these are all my children. You are all my children. Children of, okay. So how far are we and how close are we, Dr. King? He's saying like, it's always comes down to the problem of the false prophet. That we have all these people with lies and noise trying to cover to kind of like create distraction from the purity of the heart and to take us away from the real focus. And he's saying something like the first step is really to listen to your heart, in the sense that listen to your conscience. What does your conscience say? And it's saying that in order for people to do that, they need silence and they need to think for themselves. And it's saying that those people kind of like specialize in lying and creating fear, because when people are afraid, they don't listen. Right. So put people in the fear mentality. Okay. So what about the visions you had for America and for the world? How are we close, or how are we? It's I guess he shows me these images of the children playing. When they're kind of like hold hands and they're holding, I forgot the name. They're holding in a circle and they're like lots and lots and lots of them like this. He's kind of suggesting that the kids today, the ones around the like probably 8 or it's like around 85, 8 years old or something, that they when they grow up, they will make like by the time they come of age, things will have changed dramatically. So if they're aged now, 20, let's say 28, 38, that'll be in 20 years, I guess, right? Something like that. So how can we make things happen? And how is anything gonna happen? And it's saying that the image that he saw the mountaintop. He may not be able, remember before he died, he said this. And it's saying that you have to teach the children that the world of heaven is possible, is that we have to push for it, and that our path is to say it's possible to live in the righteousness of God. That should be the goal, right? And that the children, if they have enough innocence, they will leave it to be possible and they will push for it and they will have no excuse. And it's saying that even the stuff about the dramatic things that are happening, the climate change that will lead, there it's obvious, right, what's happening, that those things will expedite, it will make everything more serious. And also that people are not having kids these days, and you have to change that, because otherwise, so it's a combination of factors. So what about President Obama and Biden? Is it going to happen? I have a question, Dr. King. Is it going to happen slowly, is it gradually, or is it going to happen like boom, like? And first he shows me like we're watching television, and it's like I think it's within the next two. 2 to 5 years, a lot of people are going to go to prison. And once that becomes reality, when people cannot no longer deny it, then you have a process of change to make. It's like first you put the people in jail, and then you create the laws that make it not possible for people to commit those crimes anymore. And then once it's saying that really the next step is justice, like that, like people going to jail, and they will go to jail. And it says, it's telling me, let's talk about Merrick Garland. Because Merrick Garland, guys, and he's showing me that Merrick Garland knew somehow, he has like visions or whatever, like that he knew he was going to come and change things in this way, that he has a spiritual path, Merrick Garland, that he will kind of make it happen. He knew that he had to say, Merrick Garland knows of his power, and he knows he's doing it. He's going to make it happen. Say yes. And he's like, 80 years, is that right? Oh, that's right. That's right. I feel like he's saying that he's going to have 80 years in office. Merrick Garland will. And we're going to see a lot of changes under his arm. And it's saying, guys, it's interesting that, wait, he's talking about, oh, interesting. He's saying about justice, Dr. King is, and I got good ones. It's saying that we know how we want it. When we talk about justice, we just want the world. What we mean by justice is a world that is closer to the heaven, right? Doesn't make sense? Is that things happen closer to the way of that heaven intended to a degree. And so what is justice really? Is does it make sense? Like, to right the wrongs, it means literally justice. So it's saying that in a way it is the role of Merrick Garland and the justice in general, like the Justice Department and justice in general, to make it right. And that there's a lot of changes that are going to happen. Okay, so guys, okay, now, okay, I'm not go back to comments. Okay, I was not looking. Okay, now look, okay. So okay, so then let me continue here. So then, okay, Doctor, okay. So, okay. And I don't know, it's like sometimes I doubt, I have a message for ISF, a direct message for you, ISF. And I believe it's saying that ISF, he's saying that he's kind of not saying it like with words, but with images. He's saying that you doubt sometimes you feel sad and depressed, but he's saying you are living the path of justice. Look at all the work you've done. To you, ISF, really. And then when you think of change, look at the change that you are and that you represent and that you fight for, and you are living the path of justice. Okay, because you're feeling it and you're expressing it, saying, okay, so you yourself are one of the angels, one of the people that are, you know what I mean? Like I just say it to you, I guess. Okay, like, because you asked the question, I guess. Okay, so it's saying that even though it may not, it's saying that and that it's like the work, and it's saying all of us, guys, it's saying something interesting. He's saying that when we think of things happening, we think like boom, like something like a news or something like intense like that. And it says when you ask the question about justice, when you question why can things change, you are doing the work, because you're letting the voice of God speak through you. You're letting the voice of good have power. And this is the work. The work is not like, oh, it's not like a Ellie McBeal, whatever, like I'm a lawyer. Like, it's not like, doesn't make sense, guys. It's saying that it's not like the work is not like so perfect. Oh, get it done. To-do list. It's saying that by bringing up these images and these questions, we are doing the work of justice, like all of us. So it's saying that every time we bring that up, we make it, you know what I mean? We make it more real. I don't know how else to put it. And then because it's saying that if you let it pass, I mean, think of all of us, in general, like if we let it pass, like we doesn't make sense. yeah, but you cannot say saying that you bring it up doesn't make sense. But it's saying that the ISF, you bring it up, but you don't rest in it. You don't rest in the darkness. You say, okay, what about this? Okay. Okay, in search, I think sometimes it's good to know that I do have a purpose, because sometimes I wonder why. I mean, that's a great question. All of us, right? Is saying, but it's saying when you ask somebody a question, it's saying your day-to-day life, a person is saying something that is like offensive or something. It's say you ask the person a question, you're bringing the light to the conversation. Okay, it's saying that. And it's saying that the reason why people attack us so much and there's so much disinformation and hate speech is because they don't want us to bring up the light when we ask a question. And it's saying that let's say, for example, in environments, right? Let's say, for example, a corporate situation or something like this. When you don't have to resolve the issue, but you can ask the question. Doesn't make sense? Is that then you kind of like, and it's saying the hearts of people are more open every time. More and more open every time. Okay. So, and I feel, and it's saying that, but in our everyday lives is like this, is that you can ask the question, does it have to be like this? And it's saying, it doesn't make sense, like, okay, saints ordinary people who do extraordinary things, but it doesn't, guys, but it is say, he's saying something that's not, we don't even have to do extraordinary. He's like, we have to just ask the question, does it have to be like this? It doesn't, you know what I mean? It's saying that because we're kind of conditioned to think that the answer is like, boom, like, it's like a law is passed or something. But before law is passed, somebody has to ask the question. So, okay, so it's saying this, it's like you identify, so this cell is telling me, guys, it's telling this, like, you identify the problem, and then you ask the question, like, you see, but you don't want to say, okay, for example, let's talk about something like simple, like that. A lot of people saying, for example, like a job, like a career situation. For example, like let's say, for example, there's a coworker, like you feel like people are not being given the right promotion. They shouldn't get the promotion. They don't deserve it because they're political or something like that. And you feel there's something, and you're saying like, gee, I wonder if we could reward the people that it took them a while to get here. Let's say, for example, that alone is the work. That even if they're not like, oh, let me listen to what you have to say, and then we change, is saying that by not letting it be rest, you ask, this makes sense, asking the question is the right path. Because we, you know what I mean? Because then it's like the light turns on the people's hearts. The light turns on, and things start to happen. Okay, the light turns on. So it's saying that doesn't make sense. So okay. So and it's saying, guys, and it's saying that you don't have to be, and it's saying that you don't have to be like, okay, so individuals said something like homelessness. Obviously, if you start, oh, I need to solve the homeless crisis, like it's huge, right? No, but it's saying that you focus on your life in your own, like, you don't have to like focus, like you don't have to solve, you can solve your own problems. And by solving our problems, we solve the problems of others like us. Doesn't make sense? Because sometimes if you think, oh, we have to solve, no, you have to, like, how can you make something that is close to you a little bit better? Okay. Doesn't make sense? Like, it's saying that it's within, whatever is within your reach, that is alone okay. Okay, so it's, and it's saying something like this. It's interesting, it's giving me an interesting example. Saying, like, for example, let's say something like George Santos situation. It's like we could say, oh my God, I can't believe what is a trash person, like what a horrible, like what a pathological life. You're saying, but saying no, you say, what if we had higher standards about politics, that where people had to think of like the way of having, like, say something like this, that's asking a question, like rhetorical questions, right? Because then it's like, you're not saying, oh my God, look at sometimes, you say you don't want to focus too much on the pain of the situation. They know suffering. People know what's stuff. They don't want to talk about it. The suffering. It's not that. It's like you focus on the suffering. You say, what if something? What if? And that alone opens the doors. Because, okay, so it's saying that what if You don't have to be like, we're gonna have to take it down. No, it's saying, what if we could find politicians that cared about the voters more? Like you bring up the pain and then you say kind of like the question, which is not even, is like for the solution, so that people start having questions. And that's when you start finding a solution. Before a solution comes a question. It's saying, it's interesting. I thought it's very deep. Thank you. Let us see. So, wow. So interesting. What if, saying something very important, guys, very clear, very important here today, saying something like, the right-wing people, like say the bad, let's say even that sometimes people on the left, they're like very like anti something. The people love outrage, but outrage is not good, because outrage is like you get paralyzed in the thing. So they say differentiate outrage from questioning. Does it make sense? So it's saying like, I can't believe like we're talking about this. It's like, you gave me the example. So you talk at length about the guy with the Russian connection, how long, oh my God, I can't believe he's been around for so long. So it's saying, what if we had, because again, truly, is it, we know forever, right? Like how bad, we know the whole story. So instead of saying, I can't believe, oh my God, no, see this, what if there was something we could do, maybe the Treasury Department or somebody that could very easily identify those kinds of people? Wouldn't it be nice? Okay. So and it's giving me another example of like a workplace situation where people feel unjustified, because I think the workplace is something that people deal with all the time. And a lot of times you could see those micro environments where you feel like injustice happens all the time. So he's saying that, you could bring up for example, what if there was a system in this company where people that feel like something, they could have ideas to improve things? Could we, you know what I mean? So it's always like you bring up questions that kind of like don't focus on all the outrage, because in effect, outrage, it's like it could be bottomless. We could find, and look at George Santos, the guy, he lies every single day. You could spend like 5 years talking about all the lies, all the stuff he made up, but instead you say, oh, what if we could find a way that this would not grow, right? So it's saying change from outrage to questioning. Okay. So this is it. Okay. No, but it's saying individual, is saying less on the problem, more the solution. Is saying that not necessarily just the solution, but the question. It's saying the question. Because sometimes the solution, people like, how, okay, criticism that sometimes I'm over focused on this, but the whole tech, how the tech is always like, oh, I have a solution. Oh, easy. You have a problem. Oh, here it's tech, and I'm going to come solve all your problems. Like, no, you actually don't want that, because easy solutions are not solutions, right? Everything that is like easily answer something, you don't want that. You want to question. Like quick solutions is a bit of a scam. You know what I mean? Like, there's not such thing as a very quick, easy solution. It's saying that you have to change the mindsets of people by asking questions. And guys, this is, the old Aristotle system, right? It's the old Greek philosophy system where you ask questions. Truly, it's saying they had a point. They're saying, Rose, they had a point. They're saying they had a point. That's right. They had a point. So is that you ask the question for people to like open up their minds, because they don't, a lot of people just don't open. Okay. The question does what? Shifts out of how. I don't understand the question does what? It shifts out of, okay. Oh, what is the purpose of the question, right? What does it do? It's saying that it opens the hearts of people. The change comes from the heart. Okay. It's saying change comes from the heart, in the sense that when you have a lot of people changing, like, it's saying that in the civil rights era, that Dr. King kind of opened the hearts of people, like a lot of white people that were maybe not even aware or wanting to look at, or right. It's not just outrage of what they were dealing with. He asked the question, does it have to be like this? And when you have people ask questions, then they're not defensive. It's saying because each person is like, oh, maybe this is true. And then they're not defenses, they open their hearts. They start, once more and more people start asking questions, you open the hearts of them and they pursue change. It's saying it's not possible to have change with closed hearts. Open hearts are necessary for change. Okay. So, and it's saying that, for example, even like, for example, gay marriage, right? The issue of gay marriage. People are like, oh, but I don't like, gay people. Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what argument they have. But it's saying that, do you think it's right for people that clearly love each other to not have the same rights that you have? Is the question. You know what I mean? Is it like, is it your business? Like, other than, of course, it's not nobody's business what people are and what they do with their private lives, obviously. But the real question is like, and it's like you start asking even conservative people, like, okay, so you have children, and some of them are gay. So why do they need to have lesser rights than your other children? So it's saying that this is how it is. It's saying that you don't, it's like, if you want to, it's not convert people, but if you want change, you have to open the hearts of people. And guys, it's an interesting question that even for me, because lately I've been praying about I have anger a lot of times about the things that are wrong. And sometimes I'm like, oh, look at them, they're the bad. Say no, you have to, the way that you let people close to you is that you ask questions. Okay, because some people are sensitive, they're like, oh, they hate me or something like that, right? So, okay. That's right. Open-hearted people put themselves in the other person's shoes. The compassion leads to that. Is exactly. So it's kind of, but you have to let the person think of the question themselves. Like, once they have their hearts open, then they're like, oh, interesting. Because if you say, you didn't see it, I can't believe you didn't see it. Oh my God, what's wrong? Like, it's saying like, okay, it's like, what if the person had a reason for, what if there was something like, for example, like, okay, it's bringing me back to the workplace scenario where there's like a man, let's say a white man who was much more confident, and there's a woman of color who was much maybe more talented, but was not as direct in expressing her desire to apply for the promotion, let's say. And it's saying that it's like, obviously it's wrong. Like, you would think that most people would see it, but it's saying like, what if there was a way that is more quantitative or more objective for the other person the other person could resort to, so that they could be also considered for a promotion. Like, doesn't make sense. It's not that when you bring up something like this, it's really not, it's telling me this is the answer, Rosa, to the things you were asking yourself also. It's saying that is like, you kind of open the question, like you create the problem and then you like open a question. What if there's because it's saying that a lot of people will shut down if they feel like you're blaming them for something. Okay. So interesting. Okay. So wow, guys, interesting. So all right. Okay. So that was interesting, guys. Okay, so let me continue here. So it's showing me again miracle. So guys, I still think is it this, could be the spirit of, I don't know. Sometimes honestly I'm like, is it? And it's saying that is like the spirit of like this is like a consciousness that is accessible. Okay. So you can, okay. So it's saying that okay, so let's talk. Okay, so what about miracle? So should we, okay, so what, for example, Dr. King, what about the indictments? We want indictments to happen. Are they happening? How do we think about it? How do we deal with it? That the fact that it's not even happening, it's too slow, it seems like. And it's saying you have to speak the thing. It's saying that clearly things are in motion. You have to speak them, and just like things are happening. It's saying no, things are happening. They are going, they're investigating the thing. It's saying that you kind of, that it's happening. And it's like, how do we deal with the anxiety over things not happening? You just kind of have to state it until the contrary is true. Okay. Until, for example, let's say that we found out that nothing had happened, or that the thing was thrown out. No, it is happening. You just have to affirm it. It is happening. You see it happening. Okay. And it is, okay. It is like, it is happening in that sense. Okay. I have a question also, and it's bringing up something like it's saying, you know how like when we don't see the indictment, like, oh my God, I can't believe this is like, well, like this is not happening. This is so how do we so then for some reason it showed me like Elon Musk and then the way that they keep pushing all this propaganda. So how do we deal with that in the age of this propaganda, in the age of saying that, Rosie, you know, they're asking outrage. They want you to be outraged all the time. So you just keep asking questions. So for example, they say something like, I don't know what the bullshit, oh, like the documents, like whatever, the Biden documents investigation or whatever. So how do we deal with that? How do we saying that we're glad that justice is happening and that no matter what attempts that people may have um to hide it, whatever, it's going the right direction. And it's saying you can ask a person, why would that be an issue, right? Why are conservatives upset about it? There should be an issue, don't you think? And it's saying, okay. Oh, look, Teresa said, in honor of my son's birthday, I donate to Ukraine WCK and No Kid Hungry, and I'm gathering stuff for the local food kitchen. So this is good. This is good, Teresa. Okay. So, and it's saying that as people, it's kind of saying something interesting too. As people, we are always part of a chorus. We're never solo singers. In the sense that it's like you may think that you're nothing, quote unquote, right? Like you're not like a huge figure, but as you speak, other people speak. You know what I mean? So you elevate the voice of others when you join the chorus. And you may not even be aware of it, but that's how it is. Okay. So even if it doesn't make sense, so it's kind of interesting that way. Okay. So, and it's saying always think that I know some of us, and even talk about be like when you're doing something you care about, right? You think, oh, am I right to be doing this? Who am I? Whatever. Like, or that it's like, oh, maybe it's not big enough, or maybe, and it's saying, no, remember that all the work that you do, you bring others up with you. Even if you don't technically lift them with your own hands. It's saying that whatever you care about, you're going to lift others because you always work in choruses. Okay. So that's interesting, guys. This thing when we, I think it was Star Child who said she feels like she doesn't understand her purpose sometimes. And I think for all of us, it's like sometimes we feel like we're isolated in the things we are working on, but we are lifting others up also. Okay. And it's saying that the intention, even if let's say you do something, like let's say you're an accountant, you do something technical, you could infuse your work with intention. And that alone, and guys, I know it's something I've learned lately in the last few months. The thing about God and the works and everything you do in your life is that you have to call God into the things you do. And you kind of have to say like, let me join the chorus. And I do think it opens up, and that in some ways this practice has to do with like we have to call it up and we have to speak it out. Does it make sense? Even if it may seem like a minor thing, but I think is a big thing. Is that you say, God, let me join the chorus. How can I join the chorus? Okay, so because I think we live in cultures or maybe the era of like you have to like, oh, look at my accomplishment, my personal accomplishment, but it's saying that it's just like you open up and you doesn't make sense. You say, I want to join and I want to be part of the course. Oh, that's good. Mary's, I'm going to a little jazz presentation at the local library branch. I'd love to have a good question to start a conversation with complete strangers. Oh, you're asking, Mary, what is the question that you should have? And it's saying that I'm always, how are you? Oh, I'm so excited to be here. I'm always thinking of ways that we could help each other make the community better. And that's why I'm saying that I think those musicians are here on the jazz night. It's like they're making our community better. How could we make the community better? I was just thinking. Okay, so this is okay. So this is like, what are some of the things we could do to make the community like this library? This library does at the library branch. So it's saying like this library does this great program. That's a wonderful thing. That's something they do to make the community better. Even, I don't know, it may even be part of their goal or their budget or whatever. But what I always think, what can I do to make my community better? What could, I mean, it's saying, and it's saying, oh, and it's saying this, and it's saying this, Mary is saying that you can ask also, like, you know how like you help your cousins or your children with something. How can we bring that family spirit into the community? Okay, so that's saying the question. Okay, so I was just thinking it up. Okay, so it's just that it's saying that. Okay, so interesting, guys, right? Okay, let me continue here. So there's two. Okay, so guys, maybe, let me write it. I'm actually really enjoying this, guys, by the way, this whole conversation of the person on the other side. I'm gonna make a note for FDR, because I don't think it's today's the day for FDR. I'm not feeling it, like, next time, because it was very interesting. This, do we, guys, do you want to hear from Beau Biden? Or I kind of feel like I want to. I put FDR because it's maybe a little different conversation for next time. But I think, don't you think, do you like this, guys? I like it every time to try to have a conversation. I learned a lot. I've been learning a lot from this conversations like this. Okay. Now, yeah, because I want to talk about Beau, because I want to see, like, how is Biden handling all of this? How's Biden handling? Because you know what I mean, guys, this is complicated. Like, in the attacks on Hunter Biden and the whole bullshit of like his documents and then the things he's doing for Ukraine, like it's tough. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's very tough. His job is very tough. So how does he? What's going on? What do you see for your dad? Like, do you talk? Okay, so let's see. Okay, so thank you, Doctor. Now, let's go to Beau Biden. Beau Biden. Oh, and it's saying, guys, I have to tell you, ever since I mentioned his name, I felt his close earlier today when I first announced the guests today. I felt him close, like he wanted to talk, and I see him. He's very warm and he's very kind, and I'm giving a hug. Okay. 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 So, okay. So let's see. Now let me start. I'm going to just go to the screen here so I cannot see Okay. And then I'll come back to comments. Okay, but first, okay. So he's very warm. He's very kind. And he's almost like hugging me. I think it's a little cute, but he's saying that it's going to be okay. And he's saying, no, Rosie, everything's going to be good with you, your thing. And it's like, I have my teeth. It's going to be okay. You're going to solve. Everything's going to be good. It's all good. So it's okay, Beau. I know how much you suffered. You wanted so much. You did so much. And your dad, oh my God, your dad has suffered so much, losing you and your sister and your mom, right? The mom. So what's going on? What do you have something to tell us? What's going on? What do you see? Because sometimes I feel like it's so much. I don't understand what's going on. So what do you see? So, guys, okay, I did tell you this before. I don't know, it's interesting, I'm not crying, but he's saying to me that he said, Rosie, remember, my dad, at first he didn't want to run. He was so depressed because of me. And I told him, Dad, you have more to do there, don't you? At first, remember, guys, there was this thing where remember this? He was depressed. Do you remember when, like, at first his name was like, they suggested his name to run for president? He didn't want to. He was sick or something. Biden was. And then he prayed. Biden did, the dad, right? And he said, I told him, and he talks to me. He's saying a very faithful person. He's highly spiritual, and he has conversations with God and conversations with me every night. And I talked to him, Dad, you know the way. And he's saying that he knows that the challenges he has that were put in front of himself were to prepare him also for the challenges that he's seeing now. So God in some ways has prepared him for what he's dealing with. So it's saying that it's part of his path, and he's aware of it. He's fighting for it. So what do you see? Like, it's saying, oh, it's bullshit. It's saying it's noise, it's bullshit. And he's saying that soon they're gonna know that it's saying the stuff about Trump is gonna come out. And then they're gonna see how good my dad was this whole time. I do have to say, guys, he is telling me that, okay, I guess it's hard for me to even say it, like Biden, it's not he's getting close to leaving this earth, but I do think, and he's like, yes, it's going to happen during one of his, I do think he's going to be reelected. I think he's going to, okay, but I think it's going to, when he passes, he will be, I think he may have been in office, not this term, maybe, okay, I feel bad saying this, but it's saying that he knows it. He knows that he has to go all the way. Biden does. He knows that he's the figure. He knows that he's almost the only figure who could live through this time and unite people in his own way. Okay, so tell me more. What do you see for this year, Beau? My brother, he has such a good heart. He made some mistakes, but he's gonna be okay. He was also prepared for this. Like, okay. And he's feisty. He's feisty, my brother is. And saying he's well endowed. He's saying he's well endowed. That's why the right wing loves him. Loves to talk about him. So okay, so what's gonna happen? So Invisible wants to know what's gonna happen to the witch hunters. Saying they're obsessed about his penis. That's as far as it goes. Like, what is it saying? They want a topic to talk about, and they say, look at it's saying, but it's saying, guys, remember that they guys, remember this Fox News said something about there was a recording of Biden saying that I love you, son. Remember this? Because they want to make Hunter Biden a bad person because he had substance abuse problems. He had addiction. And I'm just saying that a lot of people, the conservatives don't understand how prevalent addiction is. And it's not a political line. And it's saying if you attack people for having drug problems, like that's not a winning strategy. Okay. And not just because they do drugs themselves, but because there's a lot of people with addiction. That's like, okay. So okay. So what else? Tell us about changes. Saying, no, my dad is seeing through. It's saying that Merrick, I see, guys, he's showing me Merrick Garland talking to Biden about charging Trump, and that America is saying, I'm okay with that. Are you okay? He's like, sure, I am okay with it. I authorize. I don't know that he had to, because it's like the idea is that the executive branch, the Justice Department is independent. But he's saying that it's okay, go ahead with it. He's like, I feel, and I see that Merrick Garland is like feeling very strongly that he has to. He's like, no, go ahead. Okay. So what else? Tell me more. Guys. Tell me, do you have questions? Now I have questions for him. So what's happening? So what do you see for the government, the House? And guys, it's interesting. He's showing me the perspective. It's like a glass. Imagine he's in there, but he's watching from above, a glass above, like a piece, like a glass ceiling, so to speak. He's observing the comings and goings, and seeing those people are about the noise and distraction. And it's saying, oh, the guys, it's interesting. He's seeing the thing from the glass ceiling, but he's saying the people with the glass houses should not throw stones or something like this, because I see also shows that they below the Republicans in the House, like it's glass, so they jump on it, and then they break the glass that cuts them. Well, okay, so but what do you see about this year for Republicans? Kevin McCarthy. He's like, I met Kevin McCarthy. He's saying something. He met Kevin McCarthy before. He seemed decent, but he's saying the people that have the weak, they are weak. Okay. So what do you see? Guys, I see that it's infighting, a lot of infighting. Do you see the Republicans winning? Or are they going to get what they want? No. They're fighting. Guys, remember that there was a fist fight? Do you remember the guy from, I think it was from Alabama, wanted to punch Matt Gaetz, and there's a lot of infighting, and they're going down. And it's saying, guys, it shows me that he's pointing at Jim Jordan. He's saying, every night he goes to bed wondering when the boys are gonna come out with the stories about him. That's why he wants to blame other people, because he wants to forget his own crimes, but it's not gonna happen. It's saying, okay. Interessante. Interessante. Okay. Oh, guys, then I see him and like there's a girl, I think it could be the sister and the mother. And they're with JFK and the Kennedys and like the old school America. He's like, we're gonna go through it, okay? He's saying. And by the way, no. Okay, so what advice would Beau give to your father Beau today? Guys, by the way, he's telling me, he shows me Kamala. He was very close friends with Kamala, Beau was. And that's who he talked, he talked to the dad about picking Kamala. So Kamala, he's saying that because Beau always recommended Kamala, he's like, he had the approval of the toughest person, my son. She had the approval of the son. So he knew to trust her because Biden is like, it was tough for him to make the decision of who would be the vice person. Okay, interesting. Okay. Oh, interesting. And he also likes a Buttigieg. And he thinks, guys, Buttigieg, by the way, I was not super into him at first, but I was like, what a man. Buttigieg, wow, guys, Buttigieg, right? Like, I really like Buttigieg. Now what a loyal person. What a smart, loyal person, Buttigieg, right? Guys, don't you think Buttigieg? Because it shows me that at first he wanted Buttigieg, but that then he's telling me, guys, that Buttigieg, he was like, you know what, I can't. He tells Buttigieg, he's like, look, I thought you could have been like a really good, but maybe it's not the time. But he wants to keep Buttigieg close to him. That's why he wants him in the Department of Transportation, because he wants him close to kind of mentor him in some way or prepare him for possibly running for president one day, maybe. So interesting. He's so good. It's saying, no, Buttigieg is he's a good guy and everything. So guys, by the way, okay, no, it's so stupid like what I'm telling you about my thing, but anyway, so sorry, Beau. Okay, so let me tell you talk. Okay, so what else? Rosie, no, so it's saying believe, it's telling me like, no, believe yourself. It's all, all this thing's gonna pass. And it's saying like, for all of us, because guys, I went for a walk today, I told you, and I've been like, we all have ups and downs, whatever, especially the winter. It's saying, think of the thing you want, or like, think of living in the thing. You are already there. We are already there. And God takes care of us. Just invite God to share our moments, and like, just go to the step you want. Well, not like, I don't have this, but like, I'm here. I'm part of the chorus. I am, the thing you want, like, it's already here. Just open yourself up. Open yourself up. Okay. So it's like, oh, that's right. We're good, right? Wow. Yeah. No. So interesting. So what else? What else, Beau? Anything else that you have to say? If America will eventually have another Camelot, like another. Okay, that's an interesting question. I don't know. I mean, they say that is a different context. We can't even have a different name. But it's saying that you have to give, it shows me, guys, was it, I think it's showing me Obama. He's showing me Obama. And it's like, Obama said something like, you have to give people hope. Something like this. It's like, it's like not about the negative. You know how it's saying the bad people want fear. Their language is fear and negativity. And it's saying that we have in America is really truly not a positive, but like a optimistic country by nature. And you have to, okay, right, it's saying that you have to kind of, as long as you let people dream, so to speak, and believe that things are possible, that's the way of the leader, right? It's not say like, be careful of the immigrant. Look at the guy that, are you sure that immigrants not coming, taking your house or whatever, or like, be careful of the Chinese, this and that. Like, it's, it's like you're saying that the way the way forward is to just ask the right questions and let people open their hearts. This is the way. Okay. So interesting, guys. Okay. Oh, I have to show you. This is like so stupid. So I got my bracelet in the mail today from Shane because I go for walks and I like to have this. You know, I work. I'm not a huge bracelet of beads person, but I like to use. I like when I pray. I like to have something. And then I was like, I can have something in my arm so that I can, like, when I do whatever it is, meditation, visual, whatever it is, I like to have. I can count this. So I got it today and I went out with this. It's like $1 from Shane. Isn't that cute? I like to have, oh, where is it? There's another one that says great vibes. Great vibes. Okay. And I know kids, very teenager kind of thing. Let me, okay, hold on. I'll be right back. Okay. Just show you. Okay, one second. I want to show because I really am excited. Oh, did I put it away? Did I do something? I thought I didn't. Maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe I already put it away. What happened? Oh. I don't know, guys. I probably, you know what? I put it away. Did I put it in my thingy? No. Did I have it in my, oh, I know. It was in my jacket. Okay, here it is. Okay. Okay. Found it. Okay. Okay, here it is. Good vibes. Good vibes. Good vibes. You know, teenagers have these things. I'm a teenager still. Good vibes. Okay. So, oh, sorry. Did I? Okay. No. Okay. So anyway, so this is good, guys. Okay, this is good. I was gonna say, so this is great. I really enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So, okay, so guys, the last question for Beau. So what are we gonna see next in the next month, or let's say between until March? What we're gonna see in the house? What's gonna happen? And I see, it's weird. He shows me an image of a gift, you know, like the gift. It's a box that that Kevin McCarthy opens, and it's like a little punch on his face. So it's saying they're going to create a lot of distraction, but there's going to be news. And I see Jack. So, oh, Jack Smith. But what do you have to say about Jack Smith? What do you have to say about Jack Smith? He's a man. He's a man. He's doing a good job. So it's saying, no, I think it's good, guys. I think it's good. So, okay. Okay. So this is it, guys. Okay. This is good, right? This is good. Yeah. Okay. My God, 9:15. Okay. Okay. Didn't even notice. All right. So love you guys. You know, love you guys. No, this is good. This is really very interesting. Okay. All right. So have a good one. And I'll talk to you on Wednesday. And then we'll talk more with other, or let's have a guest every day. Every time we have, what you think? Every time from the other side, I have a guest. Right? Okay. All right. So thank you, Beau. You know, and Kais is so loving. He's so warm. He's so loving. He's like, he's saying, you're going to find love too, Rosie. He's saying, okay. All right, guys. So have a good one. Have a great evening and enjoy the rest of your Monday. Okay. All right. Good night. Good night.